Big changes are shaking up the real estate world, and they could significantly impact your buying or selling experience here in Cape Coral and across the country. Imagine this: as a buyer, you are now required to sign a contract agreeing to pay your real estate agent at closing. According to the new NAR rules, you won't be able to tour a home unless you're signed a buyer's brokerage agreement. And what about sellers? Will they be keeping extra money in their pockets by opting not to pay a buyer's agent? This is the new reality, which began on July 31st here in Cape Coral, with all MLS and Realtor Associations required to comply by August 17th, 2024, due to the latest rules implemented by the National Association of REALTORS. Welcome aboard. I'm Cessna, your Cape Coral real estate agent. And if you're interested in selling, buying, relocating, or investing here in Cape Coral, I'd love to help. Click the link in the details below to schedule a 20-minute Zoom call with me, and let's chat about your real estate needs. Okay, let's dive into some valuable insights that will give you a competitive edge when buying or selling a home in Cape Coral. Now, starting August 17th, 2024, the National Association of REALTORS is implementing new rules that will change how real estate agent and broker compensation is handled in real estate transactions. This is crucial information both buyers and sellers need to know, so let's go ahead and break it down. Let's start with a significant change regarding the offer of compensation field in the MLS listings. Historically, listing agents would include in the MLS multiple listing service how much they were willing to pay the buyer's agent, making this information readily available to all parties involved. However, under the new NAR rules, this field will be removed. This means the compensation details will no longer be publicly displayed in the MLS listings. Instead, compensation terms will need to be directly negotiated between the agents and their clients. This shift aims to promote transparency and ensure that all parties fully understand and agree upon the compensation structure from the outset of their engagement. Going forward, when a listing agent sits down with a client to discuss selling their home, the conversation will cover our compensation for the services that we provide, which includes attracting buyers and managing every step of the transaction to ensure a smooth and efficient closing. Our primary goal is to sell your home for the highest possible price in the shortest amount of time. Achieving this requires a strong agent with extensive experience, in-depth knowledge of the local market, and a robust market strategy. Additionally, we will discuss with the seller the possibility of offering compensation to the buyer's agent. Since buyers are now responsible for paying their agent's commission, offering this compensation can make the seller's property more attractive to the potential buyers. The specific amount will be negotiated when a buyer makes an offer on the home. This is where having a skilled real estate agent who understands the market and nuances of real estate negotiation becomes crucial in maximizing the seller's profit. Despite the shift in commission responsibility, I believe many sellers will continue to offer buyer concessions to remain competitive and to attract the maximum number of buyers. This strategic approach helps ensure that the property stands out in the market, drawing in more interest and potentially leading to a quicker sale. Imagine yourself as a buyer. Before you can tour homes with your agent, you'll need to sign a written agreement. This agreement will clearly outline the services your agent will provide and how they will be compensated. If you've ever sold a home, the contract will be very similar to the required seller's listing agreement, but tailored for buyers. This step brings a new level of transparency, ensuring you know exactly what to expect, making the home buying process smoother and more predictable. Not only will you be required to sign a buyer's broker agreement before viewing any houses listed on the MLS, but you will also be responsible for paying your buyer's agent compensation. This is where some buyers might consider cutting corners by hiring a discount agent, but this often leads to huger costs in the long run. A seasoned real estate agent who understands the current market and the unique challenges of Cape Coral, such as assessments, flood zones, insurance, and taxes, will ultimately save you more money. You are also more likely to negotiate effectively with the seller to help cover your closing costs, which can be used to pay your buyer's agent. Furthermore, attempting to bypass signing a buyer's agreement to gain access to a house can have severe repercussions. Agents who fail to adhere to this requirement can face disciplinary action and steep fines. It's crucial to follow these guidelines to ensure a smooth and legally compliant home buying experience. One important exception to this rule is open houses. You will not be required to sign an agreement to view an open house hosted by a realtor. However, if you wish to see that same open house with your agent at a different time, an agreement will be required. This allows buyers some flexibility to explore open houses while still maintaining the necessary agreements when viewing homes more privately with their chosen agent. Let's dive deeper into buyers paying their agent's compensation. Previously, this was typically covered by the seller, but under a new NAR rules, it will now often be negotiated between the buyer and their agent. Here's an interesting point to consider. Did sellers actually pay the buyer's agent commission, or was the cost simply passed on to the buyer through a higher sell price? Traditionally, sellers offered compensation to the buyer's agent to attract more buyers, and although it appeared as a debit from the seller's proceeds on the closing statement, the money ultimately came from the buyer. So does this mean we will see an immediate reduction in home prices since sellers are no longer directly offering compensation to the buyer's agent? Not necessarily. While the new rule changes the structure, sellers can still choose to offer to pay the buyer's agent's commission to make their property more attractive. This strategy will likely continue because sellers want to attract as many buyers as possible. Buyers already face multiple costs when purchasing a home, including down payment, closing costs, lending fees, insurance, furnishings, and sometimes builder fees. Often they may not have extra funds available to cover their agent's commission, which means they will seek out sellers offering compensation through concessions. Essentially, while the money trail might change, the overall financial dynamics will remain similar to what they have been for decades. You may be thinking, so do I really need a buyer's agent? Wouldn't it be simpler to just go directly to the listing agent? Let's break it down. In any real estate transaction, you have two main players, the listing agent who represents the seller and the buyer's agent who represents you, the buyer. This setup ensures that both sides have their own dedicated representative fighting for their best interest. It's always better to have your own agent who solely looks out for your interest. In summary, the offer of compensation will no longer be listed on the MLS, promoting direct negotiation. The new rules eliminate the offer of compensation field from the MLS listings. This means compensation details must be directly negotiated between agents and their clients, promoting transparency and clear communication. Now, number two, buyers must sign a written agreement with their agent before touring homes, enhancing transparency. Before touring homes, buyers will need to sign a written agreement outlining their agent's services and compensation. This brings clarity and ensures that buyers understand their financial obligations and the services provided, making the process smoother. Number three, buyers may need to pay their agent's commission, but sellers can still offer to cover this cost to remain competitive. Buyers might be responsible for their agent's compensation, a cost traditionally covered by sellers. However, sellers can still choose to cover the buyer's agent's commission to attract more buyers. This strategy helps sellers remain competitive while buyers benefit from experienced agents who can negotiate costs effectively. Wow, that was a lot of information on the changes happening in the real estate world. I'm Barry Cessna, your Cape Coral real estate agent. And if you'd like to know anything else about buying, selling, investing, relocating here to Cape Coral, or anything else about these NAR changes, go ahead and reach out to me. All my information is in the details below, and I can't wait to chat with you, making realty dreams a reality here in the city of Cape Coral.